Hello guys, this is Gwendy85 and I'm here to teach you a little bit about photo manipulation. What we're gonna do today is transform this picture and this picture into this one, which is going to be a fairly high quality picture. If you see there, that's already 100%, and yet we see their features clearly. Unlike the original image, as you can see, this is a very low quality image at already 100%. And then we also have this one also at 100%, and yet it doesn't compare to how large this image is already. And what we're going to do is use a series of softwares and applications, phone applications, in order to achieve this effect. Now, the first thing you have to know about photo manipulation, in order for it to look as convincing as possible, is that you need to make sure that the lighting on the persons are the same. So, for example, with this image, the flash is actually in front. Towards the center, So let me just go ahead and show you. So as I mentioned, if you can see the light, you can see the light flashing right here, here, indicating that the light is coming directly from the flash in the center. Now if you also look at this image, that's also the same here. See? Those light spots indicate that the light is directly coming directly from flash that's pointed directly at the face. The reason why you have to find the right images with the right lighting is, as I mentioned, in order for it to look convincing. Because I also have an example here of two images that can be combined. For this one, the light is coming from somewhere above. You can see there's the light. And then for this image, the light is coming from somewhere around here. Not quite direct. The flash is not quite direct, but if you notice, the light is not coming from the same area. Now we could actually flip the image. Still, the light does not come from the same place. It may come from somewhat the same angle, but this one is actually closer to the center. It's somewhat sideways, but not quite. This one is more on the side. But in order for me to show you, I'm going to go ahead and I already actually added this image and edited it right here. See? Although it may look good at first, it doesn't look quite as convincing because of the lighting. Now, if you notice the shadows on here, the shadows are harsher down towards the bottom, so the light is coming from around here, whereas for this one, the light is the shadows are a lot softer. If you notice, it's not really dark, and the light is coming from somewhere here, so it's not really the same direction. So while it looks good, it's not really as convincing, and you can tell that it's actually photoshopped. But of course, what we're doing is not exactly professional photo manipulation, but at least hopefully it'll get you to a state wherein it looks actually convincing. So going back to the image that we're going to be creating, as you can see, I already created this one, so I'm going to try and recreate it so that way I can show you guys. So I'm just going to remove that, remove that. So if you notice, this image right here of Daisy Ridley, it's actually quite small. Already at 100%, it's this big, and for Adam Driver and Kerry Russell's image, this one is 100%. It's much bigger. Just to show you, see. So there's a difference there in sizes, and yet we're able to achieve this one. So I'm going to teach you a bit of some tricks of the trade. Now, normally I don't scale up a smaller image to match the larger image like that. What I tend to do is I scale down the larger image to match the smaller image, just like so. But in this case, since Daisy Ridley's image is a lot sharper than that of Adam Driver's, I'll go ahead and rescale her to fit the original size of Adam Driver's image. Because what's gonna happen there is there's gonna be some sort of loss of quality, meaning it's gonna be a bit blurry. That way it will match the blurriness of Adam Driver's image right here. So let me just go ahead and scale that up just a little bit more. I just want to see if they look somewhat proportioned. You can always redo this later if you're not satisfied. So let me just scale that up a bit more. I think I'm happy with that. So as you can see, the once quite sharp image of Daisy Ridley has now been blurred a little bit. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove her from the background. And to do that, we're gonna use this lasso tool. Now I'm not using a mouse, I'm actually using a drawing tablet, so that way I have a lot more control over the tool. So if you have a drawing tablet, then just go for it. If you have a mouse, then you're better off using the pen tool first, so you can have a more accurate use of the tool, so to speak. But I'm not here to actually tout the difference between the lasso tool or the pen tool. I just want to show you guys how I do this. So I'm just gonna speed things up a little so you can see what's going on here. Okay, now that we're done tracing her with the lasso tool, let's go and refine the edge, so that way the edges won't be too sharp and it will actually blend. Because if you notice, if we just go and copy her directly, the edges are quite sharp and that does not look natural. So I usually go for smoothing the edge just a little bit there, because if you go too far, then it's too blurry and it's not gonna look as convincing as well. So for this image, I'm just gonna try maybe 3. So click OK. Now I'm gonna copy her and remove the original. So there, see, that's better, but it still seems a bit too small for my taste. So I'm just gonna make her a bit larger, just a little bit, right there. So now you notice that the colors are completely different. So we're gonna fix that, and in order to do that, we're going to go right down here to create an adjustment layer. But first, let's select Daisy Ridley's image, and then let's go first to curves, because her image is a lot brighter than that of Adam Driver's. So we're going to fix that. it's going to take a lot of trial and error, so that way it will at least be similar. Maybe we could go and remove some of those harsh highlights. So just play around with the curves until you're happy with the end result. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that for now. And the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna change the color a little bit. Now, for Adam Driver's image, it's a little bit on the green side. And what I tend to do is I go and change not just the color of uh, of the character that we lifted off of another image, but I also change the other one as well. So let's go here to color balance, and let's go to highlights. Some people go to midtones or shadows, but I tend to go to the highlights first. So let's just adjust that. And again, this takes some trial and error, so don't be surprised if you don't get it right the first time. Personally, it takes me a long time to get this right, so I'm just gonna speed up the process right here. So we're gonna be changing Daisy Ridley's colors as well. So let's see. So we're going to change the colors until both somewhat match. If the colors still don't match, you might want to try the curves, because that's something that we didn't try with Adam Driver's image. So you can also try with levels, the brightness, the exposure. Just play around with that until you're satisfied with the image. That's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. So the thing that worked for me right here is changing the saturation. If you notice, it's showing a bit more of the bluish tint that Daisy Ridley has. So we're gonna play with that one until we're satisfied. Also, another thing you may notice is that Daisy's image is still quite sharp compared to that of Adam's. So what we're gonna do about that is we're gonna blur her a bit. I would suggest that you make a duplicate right here instead of just, doing it with the layer itself. That way you can go back to the previous version rather than just going through history, because sometimes there's only a set amount of undos that you can do. So let's go with blur, go with Gaussian blur, and maybe go for 0.25. Yeah, that should match up. So we compare it there. See? It matches a bit more when it comes to sharpness. So I'm gonna play around with the colors some more, see what works. Okay, I am actually somewhat happy with how this image is turning out. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna do just some final edits, just a little bit of touches. So example, this Kerry Russell's hand right here, I can go ahead and remove that using this the patch tool. I believe that's the patch tool. Yeah. So just move that right here, there. And then I want them to be, you can actually just crop them, but I want to use the full image. So I'm going to try and, edit the background, see what I can come up with. So this is the end result. I'm not entirely happy with the background, but it's better than this what we originally got. So there. And this is already the maximum size, and what we're going for is this one, which is a larger size. Now if you notice, I also removed some of Adam Driver's beard and mustache, but we're not gonna do that here. So we're just gonna keep that. We're also gonna keep Daisy Ridley's lipstick because I actually removed it here. So we're gonna keep that. Now in order for us to achieve that look, we have to resize the image. If you're just gonna resize it all on its own, it's gonna appear like this. So let me just go and do this for you. I'm gonna flatten the image, discard hidden layers. Let's just, open a new image for that. So I'm going to resize this. So let's maybe make it 300 dpi. That's already quite large. So as you can see, it's quite blurry, not at all like this one. And in order for us to achieve that, we actually have to go to our phone. So this effect can be achieved through an app called Remini. So I'm going to first, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to put it in my Google Drive and download it to my phone. So I can show you guys how to use Remini. So you can create HD, somewhat HD image for your edits. I'm gonna go to Remini now. Okay, so now that I've downloaded the image to my Google Drive and downloaded it to my phone, I am now opening Remini. This is an app that will actually help you enhance the image through the use of artificial intelligence. I have a subscription. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go click enhance, and it's gonna show you the recent images. So we're gonna go and click this one. If you notice, there's a bit of difference from the image that I actually finished earlier. That's because I went and did a few more tweaks until I was completely satisfied. So let's go ahead and check that one. And Remini will go and create a task for you. Now if you don't have a subscription, you're allowed, I believe, 3 edits, and if you have the subscription, you're allowed unlimited edits. So let's just wait for this one to finish. Okay, so we finally finished the edit. So we're gonna do just to show you the difference between the two. See, that's the original, and this is what Remini does. So it actually enhances the image compared to this one, which is very blurry, very pixelated, and now we have this stark difference. So we go with Adam. See, there's so much of an improvement there compared to this one, and also with this one. I can't enlarge it, but you get the idea. So just save that, and you're pretty much done. I'm going to go back to Adobe Photoshop so you can see the difference from a bigger screen as opposed to this small thing. Okay, so we're back in Photoshop, and now for the reveal. So we started out with these two separate images. the Daisy Ridley image is the smaller one compared to Adam Driver's bigger one, whereas Adam Driver's bigger image is blurry as opposed to the sharper image of Daisy Ridley's smaller picture. So this is the end result. As you can see, after using Photoshop and Remini, we now have somewhat high definition picture of them. This is the image at 100%. We can still see the details of their faces, as opposed to this one. If we go, this is 100% already. If we go higher at 300%, it still doesn't even compare to how big this the finished product is. And of course, the quality, you just can't beat the quality of the image right here. So that's pretty much it, guys, and I hope you learned something from this tutorial. I hope you had fun watching it, and go ahead and do your own thing. Hopefully I was able to teach you a few tricks, and if you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and thanks again for watching.